Thank you for listening to the Black Delegates podcast. Rate, review, share.
Yo, Herb, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound nice. Check 3. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Black Delegates podcast. Today's date is March the 8th, 2021. We're on episode 148. I am your host, the Black Ryan. I am here with the one and only Box Wine Poppy.
What's good, fellas?
Nothing much.
Another beautiful day in blackness. I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
From your perspective?
It looks great. Everything looks great.
And we have him, he's sitting on the edge of the bench.
Gracing us with his presence.
We thought he wasn't coming out, but then he limped out onto the court.
Yeah, the flu game. This is flu game right here.
Game. Phenom, Ghetto Phenom. What's good, man? You made it.
What's good? Yep. Wasn't sure I was going to be here. You know, I was on the injury list, listed as doubtful. But at the last minute, I saw the team needed to get this victory. So I said, let me come out here, let me risk my Achilles and, win one for the team.
So you give ordering those pizzas at midnight from Utah, from Salt Lake City pizza places. That's what you get, man.
Right.
All right. So, y'all remember when Paul Pierce wheeled himself out in a wheelchair and then came back to the game? That's pretty much what Phenom did. He knew there was at no point in time he was going to miss this podcast, but he told us all day long, I'm not going to be there. 99.999% sure I'm not going to be there. And then he shows up right on time. It's amazing. Right. We didn't even press record yet. Already there. But cool.
Hey, that's dedication, man. I appreciate that.
Something like that. All right. So let's start off with some corrections and an email from last week's episode from 147. So we got a correction. Both came from my dearly beloved. No, it's from my wife, actually. No, he's not my dearly beloved. Shout out to Lewis, though. The wife told me to tell y'all that the principal that gave the line-in was not a white man. He was black. And that if you look at him, when you look at the initial picture, he does look pretty white. But when you look at him in the interviews, it's a light-skinned black dude. So we want to make that correction.
He said line. That was the key. I said that he said line. So I was like, how does he know? Like that's not something. That's not in the vocabulary. That's not there.
Right. So he had to be black. We should have known.
I didn't know.
We had all the clues. All right, and then an email also from my wife. Why she's emailing the show, I don't know, but I appreciate it.
She can't just go straight to the source. She has to email.
I guess not. She wanted to make sure that y'all knew. I guess, but she said, "Hey, Black Delegates, just to let you know, I did appreciate the Black Ryan's efforts on his quest to find the Mocha Frappe, but hug and kiss after coming home empty-handed. Other than that, good episode. Yeah, she said she shouldn't have. I get no reward, I guess, for despite all my troubles.
And I want to get clear, Lady T. We don't apologize. There's no retraction. There's no apology for us. Nah. We not taking nothing back. We said that guy was white. He's white. That's it. Yeah. You're gonna have to live with it.
I said it. I meant it. Bite my tongue for no one.
That's right.
All right. That is it on emails
now,
and
didn't you
retractions.
Say the reason I mentioned listener Lewis before, as you call him, didn't you say he had some feedback for the show, or he said something?
Did he have some feedback
for
the
show?
Last
week episode.
Let me look.
Actually, now that you mentioned, I got some questions for Lewis. We can talk about it on our topics, but I do have some questions for Lewis.
Really? Okay. Let me see. I don't recall Lewis. I don't recall Lewis saying anything. Let's see. He did say he was waiting to see who I hated at the job, because listener Lewis works with me, and he was like, he was basically rubbing his hands together, he was licking his lips, he was even wearing that yellow jacket from the meme, and he said he couldn't wait to see who I wanted to slap in my office. But I told him, I'm not stupid. I know where my bread is buttered, and just in case he's the ops, I know what not to say about my work at all times. Don't talk about work on the podcast. Yep. Because what if the person I want to slap was him? That'd be crazy. But that's my homie, though. I like him. All right. So, let's see. This week in blackness. Box Wine trying to look off into the distance, so I'm going to go with Phenom.
All right. I got a story to tell. So, let's see, where do I want to start? So, of course, half my weeks in blackness is always something about some home improvement or some project at the crib or whatever. I mean, look, we middle-aged men of color.
Speak for yourself.
All homeowners, and that's kind of what our life is now. So, y'all know I've talked many a times about these stupid sweet gum trees and these sweet gum balls in my yard. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not about to deal with them. Like, they fell in the wintertime, and then it started snowing and raining.
Yo, Paul, hold on. Paul, if you don't get your video up, dog, I saw your thigh. Hey, man, put the video up. Put the camera up. What are you doing? I don't ever want to see that again. All I see is hairy thigh, man, and I thought it was finna be a problem. I didn't know what you was finna do. Bro, I'm glad you got pants on
Need
right
to give
now.
him a nasty man on that one.
Lord.
Nasty man.
God. Sorry, Phenom. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I said I'm not messing with the gumballs. I had a gang that fell, before the weather turned. Didn't have a chance to get them up, so I was like, I'm just hiring somebody. Not going to deal with them. Put some information out on, what was it? Angie's List and Nextdoor, just trying to see, who can I get? Got some quotes from some companies. I was about to go with one of them when this young 17-year-old kid hit me up. He's like, hey, I'm 17. I got my own lawn business. I got a trailer. I got the equipment. And, I'd be interested in doing the work. So I'm like, okay. I said, look, 17-year-old, out here trying to hustle, trying to get his paper up. I said, all right, I give him a chance.
Ruined this man's life.
So I told him come through, let me know what he'll charge or whatever. He charged like way less than the company that I was going to go with. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'd rather help out this little young kid than give the money to, this contract or whatever. No beef with them, but if I can help him out, cool.
The way less than the going rate is the red flag right for me.
Well, not necessarily, because
not for a kid in a business
kid, versus somebody who got a legit business. So I expect it to be less. So I'm like, all right, but he was about half the price, and so I was like, you know what, if he do a good job, I'm gonna give him a bonus, give him a nice little tip, let him do the work. So he came through, looked at it on Sunday. He initially said he was gonna do it on Sunday. He could look at it, if I like the quote, he would do it. And then he said he had something come up. So he was like, well, I could do it Monday if you want to go. So I'm like, cool. He gave me the price. I'm like, yep, let's do it. He comes out today, and I told him, because, dude, I'll be having a lot of gumballs, like hella, which is why, and I don't balls. Really, a lot of balls. I don't have time to do it right now. Like, I'm just busy, and I didn't want to do it anyway. So I told him, I was like, yo, he's like, do I need to bring like lawn bags or whatever? And I said, I got some. I said, but probably bring some more. I had like 20. I was like, I got like 20. I said, but bring some more just in case.
That man should have knew at that point. My quote was too low. 20 lawn bags full, and you need to bring some more. Yep. Oh, no, I changed my mind, bro. I don't even want to do that no more.
I was like, bring some more just in case. Wow. So he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come over. I got my equipment. It's going to be like an hour and a half. I'm like, an hour and a half? Hell no. It'd take me like 3 hours for each yard. For the front, 3 hours. For the back, 3 hours. Damn. And my lawn ain't even that big. It's just hella gumball. So, anyway, dude came through. He's working. He's like, oh, I didn't think it was going to take this long. I got to make a run. I'm going to come back. I'm like, cool. I'm at work the whole time. Cool. He comes back. He hit me up a little later. He's like, is it possible to renegotiate because I think I underbid?
That's funny.
I was like, renegotiate? What do you mean renegotiate?
Renegotiate the underbid.
He made the cardinal sin. When he came through to do his estimate, he said he just looked at the front yard. He didn't go look in the back. Now the back is where everything was, because the front, I try to keep that decent.
Right.
And so he didn't look at the back. So long story short, I told him, I said, look,
doesn't work.
I had to keep in mind he's 17, so I'm like, all right, I don't want to be too hard on him, but at the same time, like, you need
all
to
I
learn
know
this
is
lesson.
the sun goes down, and if you ain't finished, you don't get paid.
No, I told him, I said, look, your bid was lower, anyway, so I said I was going to take care of you regardless. I said, I was going to give you a tip, but I said, if you underbid, if you didn't look at in the backyard, I said, like, that shouldn't be a penalty against me. Like, you got to make sure you do that. And he was like, I asked him, what are you trying to renegotiate to? Like, what rate? And he said he was just talking about like $10 extra. And I was like, oh, 10 extra? I was like, yeah, I was going to tip you way more than that anyway. So I was like,
and now you lost your tip.
I was like, I'll take care of you. But I was like, in the future, just make sure that you look at the whole job, before you bid. And so, I ended up coming home. He was already gone or whatever. And dude had done 31 bags. 31 bags of leaves and gumballs. And there was still some, he didn't get all of them. He did a solid job, but there was still some left. So part of me was like, I wish I would have just paid the extra money to the other company. They would have did it. They would have hauled it all off. They would have got everything because they got the big equipment. But then on the other end, I'm glad I helped the dude, but I'm still just like, man, there's still some gumballs out there, so I'm still had to go out there and
you ain't help that man. That man's back sore as hell going to school the next day.
Hey, he gonna always remember that though. He always gonna remember that he underbid on the first job. He'll never do it again for the rest of his life. Always overbid.
Overbid, yes, right.
Yep. So that's my week in blackness. Matter of fact, I still got to pay him because
you ain't pay him. How that happened?
Well, because he did it while I was at work. So I told him, send me his PayPal. He was like, oh, okay. He's like, but do you got Venmo? I said, I don't got Venmo. I got PayPal. I got Cash App.
Where cash? Come on.
I got Google Pay. And he said, like, Venmo, I guess, is better for minors, for whatever reason. So I told him, I was like, I'll get a Venmo if that's easier. Because I was like, I know a lot of people use Venmo. So I set up a Venmo account, but I haven't connected my bank and all that because I've been busy.
Right. So it takes a couple of days. It takes a couple of days to do all that too.
Okay. Well, I'll ask him.
I mean, it just they gotta they put
send
a little,
you that 1 cent. Yeah,
and that's what I was wondering. But sometimes now they do the authentication where if you log in through your bank, it'll do it like immediately. But I'll figure that out. But yeah, kids, if you got a business, make sure. You don't cut corners. He tried to cut corners on the bid. Now that man, like Paul said, got a sore back. He was out there probably for about 5 or 6 hours.
And still ain't got his money. He thought he was going to be able to take that girl out.
And he ain't got no money.
He was going to take that girl out, but you ain't paid him yet.
He did get a little come up, though, because when I hit him up when I was on my way home from work, I was like, hey, are you still there? And he was like, I'm next door. He's like, the neighbor saw me. He's like, I'm done with your yard, but the neighbor saw me and asked me could I do his because my neighbor like has a injury where he got like a walker right now. So he got a little side job next door. So double the jobs.
I was going to say, raise that price. Double it.
Right. He charged my neighbor like $300.
And he's like, oh, great deal.
All right. So that's all I got. What about you, Box Wine Poppy?
My week, it was pretty good, man. Weather was beautiful here, man, and I'm miserable because I've been working, but got outside with the kids a little bit. I did a little yard work too, because man, weather's getting nice, and I'm like, man, I got a big yard, and so, but I try to tackle the rose bushes this weekend. I got like Man, I must have like 15 or 20 rows, but it's all around the house, man. But like I really hadn't done too much with them the last few years, but this year I was like, I'm just gonna pair these things all the way back, like almost to the nubs, and let them kind of come back, because them things they just grow all year long, and they bloom like 6-7 times. They're like them knockout roses. So I had to do that. So I didn't have like 31 bags, but I had like 11 bags, I think, the paper ones, because like. Because you got all the thorns, man. That's the thing. You got to put the gloves on. Anyway, so I did all that old man stuff. But getting on top of that too. Other thing I want to talk about though. Watch the NBA Finals, or not the NBA Finals, the NBA All-Star Game. Did y'all check it out? Ryan, I know you said you don't.
I checked out the open run, the little 2-on-2 just before the podcast.
That was the Saturday night thing, right? Friday night thing.
Probably one of them nights. Probably Friday.
That was basically the All-Star, the celebrity.
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Yeah. So you didn't watch it, but you didn't watch none of the skills.
I didn't watch none of the nothing else. No.
Phenom. What about you? I know you said you watched it, right?
I watched a little bit of the game, the All-Star game. I watched most of the dunk contest. I actually didn't see the finals.
Actually, it got worse as it went on. The first round of the dunk contest was the best one.
Yeah, but that's what I saw. I saw maybe a quarter of the game, and then most of the dunk contest.
It was a good game though, man. It was competitive. I mean, it was interesting. They do that. I don't know I forget what they call that little scoring system they got. Where they wipe out the scores every quarter. So it was cool. But then like right around like second quarter, I guess is like when that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview, and this is where I'm talking about Lewis, my man Lewis. If you're out there listening, we need your opinion on this. So my wife has said like, oh, I'm gonna watch this, and I'm like, okay. So she's in the kitchen watching that. I'm trying to watch NBA. Dog, why was she watching that thing like it was the fourth quarter of Game 7 of the NBA Finals? Like she was all up into this Meghan Markle interview, and I'm just sitting there listening to it too with her, and I was like, okay, it was kind of wild. Did y'all catch up on any of that stuff, and that story that went on today?
I've been reading about it, but I wasn't going to watch it. But yeah, I'm read up on it. I think I know all the happenings.
It was 2 hours long, and I'm like,
what?
It was 2 hours long. It was Oprah. They walk around, and that like some part my wife was showing me, like they were talking about. Oprah was like, yeah, well, we're neighbors, so like we're just meeting over like at an intermediary, a neighbor's house to do this interview and walk around, these low. And I was like, okay, Oprah is like a billionaire. These two people are like they're just born rich or born into it and don't have no jobs, and they filthy rich too. I was like, why do I care about any of these people's problems? But it was interesting, man. Right. Like, I don't know, they was dumping on the royal family. So I wanted to ask Lewis, since he's British, right? You said he's British, right?
Yes, he's from Wales.
Okay, so yeah, they have their own language. I've heard about this, the Welsh language. I've heard about this. They got their own language. No, this is fact.
I think he's from Wales, so I hope I'm right.
Anyway, but like I just don't understand it, man. In America we got rid of these people. They crazy. So like, why are like the British people not surprised that they're crazy? 300 years later when United States got rid of them, man. So like, I don't know. I guess like Prince Charles is a dirty dude, and I guess he's racing. They were like, the baby might be too dark. I was like, who thought that
she's light skinned as heck?
Who thought that lady's baby was gonna be dark skinned?
Too dark for them, apparently. She's not pasty white. She's too dark.
The husband is pasty and a ginger. She is super pale. Like super pale. Who thought that kid was gonna be dark, man? Come on, man. Really, seriously. It's insanity.
Too dark, man. For them. They don't want that melanin.
I guess, man. But anyway, so like, yeah, it was interesting, man. But they get a nasty award for me. The whole royal family. I get even the queen. Give the queen a nasty award.
I didn't realize that they had pulled all of their security. I guess funding and stuff and security. I thought he still got a stipend of some kind.
I guess he had to give it all up. I mean, I guess he got some money from his like mom's estate or will or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. So that's what they've been using. But the crazy part? Did you see the part where like they came over the United States and like they had nowhere to go and no security, and so Tyler Perry's like just stay with us, and I'm like, that's just the most random thing in the world. Like,
yeah, he told him, he said, come down to Tyler Perry Studios. You can stay at the Medea house, and y'all just sitting in the props.
And so the Twitter was going crazy. They're like, imagine somebody having to explain to the Queen who Tyler Perry is.
Yeah. I doubt. Well, yeah, I doubt she watches that. He definitely don't watch that.
Look, there's there's a chance of aliens taking over the world tomorrow higher than the Queen of England has watched a Medea movie. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
Hey, but he said he was gonna volunteer his own security and everything. I don't know what the Tyler Perry security looked like, but I don't know. I would trust him.
But hey, I mean, that's good looking out, man. Dude, it's just like he just does random stuff like that, man. Like you think like, oh, this movie,
he's a good dude.
Movie's trash and stuff, but he does good stuff like that. And you're like, although I don't really understand why, but
hey, just because his movie's trash don't mean he can't be a nice guy. We've never said that. He's a good person.
We'll talk about some trash movies here in a second too. But yeah, man, that was interesting. But man, it's just weird. But anyway, so like. So watch that, and it was just blowing up last night, so I was enjoying that. Other than that, man, the rest of the week was man, just getting out, enjoying the beautiful weather. It's been awesome here, and so yeah, man. And I'm miserable, sick at work, man, just because I have to work, and I'm like, it's nice outside. I want to go work out. I want to go for a walk, and can't do it. And that's the worst times. I don't mind when it's like cold and nasty. I'll just work all day long. But when it's like beautiful, like man, let me get outside for at least 2 hours, do something, and can't do it. So Ryan, what about you, man?
Well, my week was typical old man stuff. Like Phenom said, man, I had a plumbing issue this past week. I've been having a slow drain for like a week. I've done everything possible to open this drain. Every chemical imaginable. I have bought a snake, so the hand cranking is one you can hook to your drill to snake it down in there. Still couldn't open it. I don't see anything wrong with it, but it backs up immediately. So I'm like, all right, man, fine. I got to call a plumber. Found this plumber, recommended by my father-in-law. I bring them over. Dude is like, oh, okay, like, we got it. And I was like, nah, bro, I don't think you got it because it did that to me. It seemed like it was fine. Then it ran. I turned the water off. I let it run for like 15 minutes straight. Then it came back. Then it back up again. So I don't know what the problem is. Dude, he ends up going up on the roof. He's trying to go through the vents on the roof to get through there. He's like, man, I don't know. I can't get the big machine. I can't find y'all main, the main little...
The clean out.
Right. The clean out part. Because for whatever reason, my kitchen is not attached. It doesn't come back into the house, back to the main. It goes straight outside. But that side of the house, there is nothing on this side of the house that shows that, which means it's behind a wall.
Why would they put your clean out behind the wall? I mean, it's always like in the front yard somewhere. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, but
you just gotta poke around with like a shovel, just kind of like hit the ground.
Would it be outside though?
Yes, it's always like in your front yard. It's like a little white, like cap looking thing, like in your front yard usually. Yeah,
I know what that is.
It's like you'll look at it and you'll think it's like a little irrigation thing or something like that. But it's like a little white.
That's what I thought
plastic.
It was. Yeah,
I've seen that.
Out.
That's the clean out.
I should have told him that.
Man, what you talking about, man?
But that's what I'm saying. Anyway, the dude is the plumber. I'm listening to him. He said it's behind the wall. And he's like, you got to go into this wall to find the black cast iron pipe to clean this out. And so I'm not looking forward to that. I told him, you cool. This was over a 2-day span because the first day he quit on me and he just like, look, man, I don't know where it is. I'm going to send out the more experienced plumber tomorrow. Or maybe this evening, but I figured he wasn't going to come out that evening. It was already 3-4 o'clock. Came out the next day. They did the same thing again.
Can you see that?
I'll take your word for it. I can't see it. I'll see it now. Yeah.
That's what it should look
like. Mine doesn't have a
cap
cap on it, so maybe that's the problem.
Well, then it's probably clogged up, man. That's what they do that. I mean, it's all in your yard.
Think so? Okay.
But he might be talking about a different one because, like, I have one of those, when I had the plumber come out, like, I got a thing in the basement, and he had to clean that out in the basement, and I don't think there was a cap like that, and he installed one in, but it wasn't in the yard, it was in the basement.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, I'll think about it then. I'll do some more research, but yeah, the other dude came over, and he kind of gave me the same thing, and so this brother, he knocks on the door, right? And it's an older guy, fat dude, like all plumbers are. And then he knocks on my back door, and I'm like, who the heck is this? Because normally they call. I open the door. He doesn't have a mask on, so I open the door, and he's like, hey, I'm the plumber. And I was like, bro, you got a mask? And he's like, oh, yeah, hold on. So he went, got a mask, come back out, got I don't know what he had. He had the Under Armour joint or whatever. Comes back, and he starts telling me.
Best mask.
Yeah, he starts telling me about the the virus. And I'm like, sorry, man. I was like, I hate to be a jerk. I feel bad about it, but I'm in my house with a mask on. So it ain't like I'm comfortable up in here and you got to wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask too, just in case. And he's like, oh, don't worry. It'll be soon. This will all be over. Texas just opened up. Mississippi opening up. And then Missouri going to follow right after that. And he was hyping.
He's
and
right
I was
about
like, I was like, nah. I don't want it to open up until we all got these vaccines. When we got the vaccines, open it all up. Have fun. But I was like, nah, I ain't saying that. I'm wearing a mask until all this is done with. And he's just like, oh, no, you just need to get you this vitamin. He gave me some kind of vitamin. He's like, this vitamin here, you just take it with a little bit of green vegetables and it'll just stop the virus immediately. It attaches to the virus and then you'll be fine. And I was like, really? I was like, I don't know what that is. Never heard of that. But I was like, have you had it? And he was like, oh, yeah, I got COVID early on. I'll be like, nigga, you had the COVID, so clearly your vitamin didn't work. And he's like, I was just coughing for a little bit. And he's like, but to be honest, I was a little afraid there right at the beginning. But it was over. He's like, it was over in about 5-7 days. I was all right. I stopped coughing, and I've been fine ever since. And I was like, all right, well, you lucky because I was like, I don't know about you, but I was like, I'm overweight and out of shape too, so I don't want to take my chances. So we'll see what happens. I was like, if I got to wear a mask, I wear a mask. And he was just talking back and forth about what he thought it was fake, and as soon as the president came and changed, it just went away magically. I was like, nah, it hasn't gone away. People are still getting sick. People are still dying. I say it slowed down a little bit, but he's like, yeah, but it's the same as the flu. 2% of the people is only ones that's affected. I was like, that's 2% with us wearing masks and not going anywhere. I was like, imagine what it would be if we went outside.
And there's no flu. There's been no flu this year.
Right.
At all,
and he's like, yeah, look at the flu. He did mention that. And I was like, yeah, because we're not going anywhere. Nobody's getting sick. It's working. And he stopped talking after that. I'm just like, all right, man. Like, I'm the customer. Paul said I shouldn't have engaged at all. But I'm like, yo, this is my house. You ain't finna come up in here spouting that nonsense. And I don't say nothing. I can talk to people without arguing. So we still had good rapport. He's a cool dude. So he said, holler back at him after I tear this wall out. But we'll see. But he didn't charge me. For 2 days they was over. No charge. He said he want to keep the customer. So Phenom, that dude's still cool. So if you want to rock with him, I still would say use them if you have to.
Throw on your MAGA mask when he walks up to the door. You get the extra, you get the 5% off.
He cool. Just make sure the dude wear a mask. Yeah. Other than that, I guess we talked about vaccines. Found out that I was like, I need to get a vaccine. Where can I get a vaccine from? I don't know. My wife has put me on every list, and she was like, somebody in her office told her they was going to drive all the way down to Columbia to get something this past weekend. And I'm like, I don't want to go, but I was like, is it something like Saturday morning, afternoon? I was like, I might could do that. It's just to get us out the house anyway, and that way I make sure I'm good by the time school starts. Man, and I'm like, everybody from the state is going to probably be going there anyway. And the other places all seem like racist places. I'm never, ever, ever going to get a vaccine at a Knights of Columbus. Because I don't care what nobody say, the Knight in Knights of Columbus meant KKK. That's how I think whenever I see Knights of anything, it means KKK, and I'm not going. So we end up not finding anything anyway, so I'm not going to go. I found out my boss's boss was driving down to Columbia to get a vaccine, which is funny because he didn't believe in it. Like, how you going to get a vaccine for me and you didn't believe this was real?
But look, what I've heard you got to do is like find out like which place near you, like a Walgreens that has the vaccine, right?
Nobody, because it's Missouri. We trash.
So there's CVS's, Walgreens, whatever. There's some place around there that has it. So you find some place near you. Find out call up there and just find out like when's the last one. What I've been hearing is you got to go up there at the end of the day. And if you go up there by the end of the day, and because most of the time they're going to have extra supply because people have been calling around to like there's people that's like, okay, we want to get a vaccine. We're calling to like Missouri and or Columbia, Rolla, whatever that little Cuba or whatever the hell you called it, and
Cuba, Missouri.
Right, and then 10 places in, and whatever, maybe some place in Illinois. They doing that. They put their name on every single list, trying to get whichever one says come on down first. They go. Mm-hmm. They don't take their name back off the other 9 places that they put their name on. Right. So they say at the end of the day, a lot of these places, they got excess supply and they got to get rid of them. So if you had reserved for that day, and then at the end of the day they got 10 doses left that nobody's came and claimed, they just and you sitting there, they'll give it to you then. So call a CVS, ask them when the last appointment is, go up there a little bit before then, and just say, do y'all give away? Do y'all is there like can you just wait in line to get one of the leftover doses in a day? They'll tell you yes, and then you just go up there and show up, and that's like how my barber said he got it. And my aunt was telling me that same thing. It's the same story in Georgia too. So that's what you got to do, man.
Is that how they roll in the Missouri Phenom? I thought it was just none. Right. That's what everybody keeps saying. Like it ain't none.
No, I mean they got some. They just
they're prioritizing them, man. But like but it's all honor system. It's honor system for like. They're not. You ain't got to prove none of this stuff. I mean, not say you should. I'm not encouraging nobody to do that. I think that's wrong too. If you ain't got no, disabling condition or some kind of kids got some kind of issue. I'm not saying you should jump the line, but if you want to go up there to at the end of the day and they just ask, do you have some leftover ones that that nobody came and claimed? Can I go ahead and get one? And if they say yeah, then that seems reasonable to me, man. That's a first step.
One of the issues
and that way you don't have to go to like I'm not trying to go like halfway across the state to go get something or go sit in some line in some like huge like the Edward Jones Dome for 5 hours to go get that. No, I ain't doing all that mess. Give me the CVS close to my house. I can be back and come back and relax, or something like that. I'm not gonna stand out there for like 5-6 hours or something like that. No.
Well, I got a spot for you to check, Ryan. I'll tell you off the air because actually somebody was just mentioning that this place, has the vaccine, that they don't have a lot of traffic.
Really?
So I'll shoot that info to you. But one of the issues with Missouri is just terrible planning. Like they're sending 1,000 doses of the vaccine to towns with 200 people, and things of that nature. So it's just terrible planning, and same reasons. Y'all talked about where these places are, have no mask. Texas is opening up. Like, people just don't take it seriously. So they just like, whatever.
Well, I mean, if there is a town close by, there's 200, they got 1,000 vaccines on 2 people, that's where I would go to. Now, I'm not saying go to the crazy one, but if there's a CVS there or something like that, it's got to be a regular drugstore or something.
Yo, you ain't been to Missouri?
I've been to Missouri all the time.
None of the places that are on these lists, and I've looked at all of them, seem like they are okay for black people to go to. They are not in the Green Book. They ain't in the Green Book.
The Green Book. What is it, 1965?
Yes, it is in Missouri. It's 1965. Nothing's changed. Especially they just lost the election. They angry. But other than that, so that's my thing. I need to try to get a vaccine. We did mention the open run. I want to mention that in my Week in Blackness. I watched that before the pod. Lil Baby was talking like he was the coldest dude ever and how he was the best hooper in rap and this and that. Man, that dude was a self-check phenom. Remember we used to say self-check? He was trash. Turnover, block shot. Man, he couldn't bring the ball up. 2 Chainz was playing by himself out there, man. It was terrible. They got blown out.
That's what I read. I didn't see it, but I read a lot, and I think I did see a clip of him shooting a free throw and like just hitting the backboard, but not nowhere near the rim or something like that. So
I was yelling at the screen. He was so bad. And my wife came in and she was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Man, Lil Baby is the worst basketball player I've seen in a long time." He had Quavo looking like Steph Curry out there.
Do you remember Kevin Hart? Have you seen Kevin Hart when he goes out there and plays? That's pretty funny too, man. That dude was trying to take every single shot, man.
Man, I'm here for any celebrity basketball, anything. And so anytime they can do that, they used to be my favorite rock and jock back in the day because it was so crazy. So I'm here for that. They need to bring all that kind of stuff back.
Yeah, that's where I learned Brian McKnight had game. I was like, damn, this dude can play.
And R. Kelly, rest in peace.
R&B cats. That used to be funny. A lot of them R&B cats could ball.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about 2-on-2.
They had this great story about R. Kelly though, when his entourage was just passing the ball. Did you ever read those stories about R. Kelly?
That they had to give him the rock.
Yeah, they said they like no matter what, they just had to give him the ball, and he just chuck it from half court. Hey, I guess if you got an entourage, that's what you got to do, right? Yeah. I'm taking every single shot.
I came out here to get a workout. I'm paying y'all. Give me the ball. Yeah. All right, so that is it for This Week in Blackness. We're going to get straight into movie review.
40 minutes in.
Is it really? No, we talked for a long time.
Let's do it.
I'll figure it out. We figure something out. So, Coming to America. I don't like that they did that. I think that's lame.
No, I don't like
Don't
it
put
either.
the 2 in there. Just put the 2 on the end, man. We ain't got time to be trying to figure out which 2 you talking about. Now, when we talking to each other, we don't know what you're talking about. You talking about the new one? You talking about the old one? The 2021 version? Nah, get out of here. Paul,
Don't
one
worry,
of those.
I don't think we're going to be talking about this new one very much.
Paul hated this movie, as you could tell. So I want him to start off.
Man, look! I had Amazon Prime way back in the day. I haven't had Amazon Prime in years. His wife has kind of been giving me, every blue moon it comes up like, oh, you should get that so we get the free shipping and stuff like that. And plus they got the little shows on there. And I was like, man, there's nothing really on there, so I never got it. Friday, the whole week we was like, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna check it out. And so then Friday morning got the Amazon Prime. So I was like, okay, we're gonna watch this tonight. So I was kind of hyped. I knew it was going to be, I knew I was prepared to be, it was going to be disappointing in some way. Because you just can't beat a classic.
Can't top that.
But yeah, man, put it in and yeah, man. I'll give y'all thoughts, but it wasn't it, man. It wasn't hitting on nothing with me. It was like they said in the first one. It was good and terrible. That's what it was, man. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, man. I mean, there was a lot of good cameos. I guess good cameo. There was some like straight, but it was moving too fast for me. Just didn't really develop none of the characters. I wasn't really invested in none of them. I mean, I really didn't get enough of the old people. They're just bringing back like old scenes and old people. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool that dude's alive still, but he ain't add nothing to this. Let's move on, man.
Phenom, what'd you think? Was the movie as bad as Paul is saying right now?
I don't think it was as bad as Paul is saying.
Please.
I definitely feel like in the beginning of the movie, I was like, this is not about to be good.
Okay.
And to start, like, it took a while for me to really get into it. And I think one of the things that helped me finally start to get into it was the cameos. I mean, it had so many cameos and kind of redoing the scenes, and some of them were like really well done, and some of them were, some of them is just a matter of reminiscing and, oh yeah, I remember them, I remember him, I remember her. And I think eventually, like, that started to get me into the movie, and I think the second half of it actually picked up. Now, I think the biggest hole in terms of like the development, because I do agree, it wasn't a ton of character development and things of that nature, but I do feel like they would have had to address the whole idea of DNA testing. Like that never was
nobody
brought up.
even
Was
got
like,
a DNA test.
test. Now I get it that and spoiler alert, anybody who hasn't watched it, maybe you don't want to listen, but I get it. They wanted to go through the whole test for the prince or whatever. You have to do this test. But I think you at least have to bring up like, hey, why don't you just get a paternity test? Oh no, the way of our people, like it could have been something cheap like that. But the fact that nobody ever muttered DNA test and he just assumed, oh yeah, this is my son. I was like, that's kind of whack.
I thought for sure that was going to be the twist at the end, is that it turned out not to be his son. And I thought he was going to get with the daughter, but then he went off with the barbershop chick. But I'm not going to say the movie was terrible, man. I enjoyed the cameos. I was a huge fan of all the ladies in the movie. Every chick that worked at the palace, don't front, Phenom. I know you saw it too. I know you try to sit up and be a great husband. Paul, he saw it. He definitely was checking IG and doing Google photos. He was checking.
I only got eyes for Leslie Jones, man. I'm sorry, man. That's it.
Cross-referencing pictures. But every single one of the ladies in the palace was super dope. And so I was here for it, man. I enjoyed everybody in the background, even. Because if you look in the background, it was people that was there. It was funny, man. The thing that I didn't like really was the son. I hate to say it, but that dude was whack. I was like, why they pick him? Like, it should have been somebody funny or somebody that could carry the movie. Somebody who you could maybe, if you want to do another movie down the line even. But he should have been able to kind of carry the movie, and that was not the case. I thought Arsenio was still dope. His characters were still funny.
But he was barely in the movie. He was barely there.
And that's part of the problem. So it was fun. But
Wesley Snipes' character I thought was solid. I mean, it's over
but
the top.
Wesley Snipes was dope, but he didn't get to do nothing. He just they Wesley Snipes was just waiting to do something, and they just didn't give him enough to act with because he's the best actor in that whole cast. But he didn't
Michael
get to do nothing,
Michael Blackson was underused. I thought he should have been Wesley Snipes' son. And then be like, oh, this is who we were supposed to put her with. And I was like, oh, this is about to be funny. But then we didn't see that dude for the rest of the movie.
Man, there were a lot of good. I just didn't like how they went back to New York. They went back in there for 4 minutes, pulled up to the Madison Square Garden, hopped out the car, and found this dude like in 5 seconds.
Immediately.
Back in Wakanda. Back in, sorry, not Wakanda, Zamunda. Like man,
It's
come on.
Wakanda.
Like, how you
It's the
find a
same
dude
thing.
that quick? They could have done that, like the whole thing was just like them trying to find the son.
Yeah.
Or whatever like that, and just they could have done it off that, but I ain't like how they do it, man. But I'm sorry, y'all crazy if y'all think this is a good movie. Will y'all ever watch it again?
I didn't say it was good. I said it wasn't terrible. It was alright.
I think it was solid. Like I said, it wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. I thought it was a good movie. Like when I was done watching it, I was like, I'm glad I watched that.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't have all the character development and all of that. It really was like a Master P movie, but done better because they just threw like every black person in there. They was like, let's get every black person that we can.
That's something I said before the movie started. I told the wife, I said, so is this going to be a cameo of everybody who's ever been associated with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah,
pretty much. Because they had Prince songs playing. But the part where it lost me when I was
Trading Spaces dudes.
Yeah, but the part when it was over for me was when Gladys Knight came out there and said Midnight Train to Wakanda.
That's nice.
To Midnight Train to Zamunda. I was like, that's it. It's over. It's a wrap for this movie.
Hey, him wanting to have a funeral while he was alive so he could watch it. I liked it.
And then
I thought it was cool.
And they had my man Dikembe Mutombo up in there like, wow.
Nice.
Like this was a random cameo ever.
Right.
I think it all hinges on the son, man. If that son had been swapped, you had to put somebody else that was actually funny. And can somebody, I don't know how to say this. Tracy Morgan got to go, man. I'm so sick of that dude. He's got a 30-year career of being trash. Then he gets picked up on 30 Rock, and then we get another 30 years of this dude. Get him out of here. He's not funny. He's not funny.
Respect Hustle Man.
He's not
Rock
funny.
Resurrected him, dude.
That's the problem. Because white people thought he was funny. He's still not.
Rock, I was not a fan. Post 30 Rock, I'm a huge fan.
What's changed? He's the same stupid dude. He does the same dumb voice.
Maybe I didn't appreciate it before, but like,
no.
I thought he was funny, especially in 30 Rock, but in the movie I thought he was funny.
That 30 Rock is just all about the writing.
It's because he was that dude in a white space. That's why it was funny.
Even what's the show he got now with the kids?
That show is terrible. Last OG.
That show is funny, dude.
It's terrible.
That show is funny.
Hey, but so let me ask you this. Okay, so like the movie mixed reviews, but like, what was the angle? Do you think they're trying to like, because they got the younger kids again. You weren't feeling the son or whatever like that. I mean, but they got the daughters, going to be the queen eventually or whatever like that. You think they like angling to make this like a Rocky or Creed, like a series like Coming to America 3, and it's going to be just the kids and whatnot, just like a whole new. I mean, because that's money for Eddie and or Eddie at least.
Eddie Murphy owns this, right, Fino?
He has to.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I thought it's his property. That's why ain't nobody touched it. So unless they throw him a bag up the Brinks truck again like they did, I'm sure for this one, he probably got like $100 million for this movie. So he's like, yeah, I'll come back. So,
but I'm saying that it felt that's because the movie wasn't good to me, and so like 3/4 way, I'm just like, why they do this? And I'm thinking like, okay, maybe they doing this to like there's gonna be Coming to America 3, and maybe it's gonna focus more on the kids, and like the son goes back to.
I mean, I think that would be.
It's possible, right?
I think it would be a good idea, actually.
How many times can you come to America though?
You had to get some. Now on that, you would have to build a stronger storyline because you don't have sort of this star power and all this reminiscing where you can go back. But yeah, you have to have a better storyline. You have to have some better actors. Of the son, he was part of the reason I feel like it was slow in the beginning. I wasn't feeling the beginning. And then later on, I felt like he got better. Like once they took that stupid afro off, then like he got better as an actor, even though he was over the top a little bit. But
I just felt the first half of the movie was just so fat. I mean, they were just throwing they were trying to bring all the people and throw these little and they were here, they were there. It was just too much. I thought the first half was really rushed. When they slowed down the second half, I thought it was better, but by then I was already lost. You know what I'm saying?
I love Leslie Jones. I thought Leslie Jones was a good addition. Man, it was just that son, man. That dude was so basic. Just like, yo, get him out of here, man.
I think it really was his fro. I think his fro was so terrible, bro, that it just took away.
That's Phenom being jealous, man. Because Phenom was like, man, I used to have that same hairstyle back in the day.
No, man. It was like, and I'm surprised you ain't talk about it, Paul, because you always quote on folks' linings. Like the lining on their fro was straight garbage, bro. It was like a puzzle, like somebody just put a puzzle together on his lining.
Yeah, shout out to I like Wesley Snipes always walking in the room like Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton. I thought he was gonna be like, "What did y'all miss?" And I thought he was gonna sing that song because that was fun.
But they could have gave him a lot more, man. They could have gave him a lot more on that. Wesley Snipes would have been dope if they had given him more to work with, man. All he had was those little intros, but he didn't really do nothing, man. I didn't get it. Anyway.
Were we robbed of the comedic Wesley Snipes over his entire career because that dude know karate? Because I feel like he was in every action movie imaginable in the late 90s or early 90s. No,
he was in Major League. I mean, look, arguably Wesley Snipes is the greatest film athlete ever. He was in White Man Can't Jump. Again, greatest basketball movie of all time. We can agree.
Yes.
Okay. He was in Major League. He was dope. He was good in Major League. It was one of the best baseball movies of all time. Can we? Right? He was in Wildcats.
What was his name in there?
You don't remember Major League? I don't
remember him in Major
League. Hayes, yeah. And then Omar Epps took over his part in part 2. Okay. Yeah, man. He's got comedy, man. He did comedy early on, man. So
you talking about when he was dressed up as a woman? When all three of them was cross dressers?
Oh yeah, Tu Wong Fu. Yeah. I mean, but hey, man, that's what you got to do to get the range, man. I mean, the dudes played drug dealers. Dudes played transgender. The dudes played comedy. I mean, he can really act. That's what I'm saying. They should have gave him more because he was the best actor out of the whole cast by a long shot. But he didn't really have nothing to me. I mean, he just had these little pop up parts where he had this little crazy accent and he was doing this stuff, but then he wasn't really doing anything.
Hey, if he pay his taxes, then he could be in some other movies. But dude been exiled from the United States for so long because he been running from the feds. We can't put him in nothing. He can't show up.
And the director, man, is this dude named Craig Brewer. He was the dude that did Hustle and Flow. He's from Memphis, white dude from Memphis, but he did like Hustle and Flow and did a bunch of other movies that were like kind of Memphis, themes. So I was like, man, rooting for him. When I saw his name he was the director for this, I was like, oh man, this might be fine. And it looked, don't get me wrong, the movie looked good. Like visually, the dance parts and stuff like that, it looked good.
Rick Ross House was fire.
Tiana Taylor looked great. All stuff, but yeah, man, all the story, man, they didn't put no money into the story at all. It was all about getting the cameos and stuff like that. It was just that was for me. That was the issue. But I digress. Mm-hmm. What's up, man? We got next. Keep going.
Yeah, we do need to keep going. But what are we going to keep going to? That's really the problem. I don't know.
Keep going.
I think we're going to skip this next topic, though, for real. We're going to go straight on down to a black cop is fired for saying the N-word. Paul, this is your story, right?
Well, damn! I thought the last one was my story. You threw me all off on this one. Okay,
that's okay. We got to skip it because that other one is a long time.
CNN. Out of CNN, dude, a cop named Delvin White, 8-year veteran from Tampa, Florida, was he's like a school resource officer at a high school. He was fired because I guess he was walking around. I guess they have to have the body cam footage on, and so they've got video of him on his own body cam just talking to people, but he's using the N-word. And so somehow it became under review. And so the police department fired him for it. And I'm just wondering, I'm going to ask y'all, can you get fired as a black person for saying the N-word to yourselves about yourselves? Is that allowed?
Can't hear nothing.
Ryan, you cutting it out, brother. You cutting it out, man. Phenom, you go for a minute. Ryan, work on your audio.
All right. Yeah. So, well, here's my take on it. I think, generally speaking, no. I think a black man, you're gonna get a pass to drop some N-words. In the NBA or whatever. If a white player says the N-word, they get them up out of there. Black dudes say it all the time. Yes, it's a double standard, but yes, we earned it. So I think normally it's fine. I think in this situation where this dude tripped and where I support his firing 100%. Number one, let me go back up here. Number one, what is his name? Is it
Delvin?
Delvin. Number one, if your name is Delvin, you deserve to get fired. Sorry to all the Delvins out there.
Wow.
You gotta go. Number two, I think if a black officer says the N-word with the A, there's no hard R. Like, you're fine.
I gotta chill.
It's all good. Maybe even if you do the hard R, maybe possibly we're going to give you a pass. That's going to be part of your black privilege as part of the reparations. Black folks, we get the free use of the N-word. But this dude, where I'm like, oh yeah, you got to go. He said, or some ghetto N-word with the hard R. If you call somebody a ghetto N-word with the hard R, I don't care if you're black,
now he
white,
can be out of there?
Asian, you got to go.
Cancel.
So cancel a black man for the hard R is what you're saying.
Yeah, if you call somebody a ghetto, yes, you got to go.
Okay.
You cancel.
Was that during, was he talking to the person he was arresting? What's the context?
He's talking to himself at first, and then that was a phone call. So then he's talking to a woman on the phone, says they were discussing dinner plans, and he said, every day that I go to work and not one kid gets shot or stabbed, that means I've done my job, and that's a lot of responsibility. You don't have all that responsibility. Well, some will say you have more responsibility. You manage a multi-million-dollar property, or some ghetto done got shot or stabbed. I don't know. But to their mama, they worth $1 million.
He hard R'd that, really?
Yes.
I don't think I've outside of saying that a white person said the N-word, I've never hard R'd. Ever. That's weird.
Right.
Okay.
And the fact that he put ghetto in front of it, that means like you racist. Like he's Tyrone Biggums.
Racist.
He's Tyrone Biggums, man. He's the black man in the Klan.
Okay.
Get him all the way up out of here.
All right.
What about you? What are your thoughts, or what were your thoughts before you heard that hard R?
Yeah, before that part, I was going to say, nah, he's good. I mean, he's Teflon. We can say it. I mean, I've always abided by the rule that we should not be saying the N-word, period, in front of other delegations. That's just me. Like, if I'm in a room and there's white people there, I am not N-word ever. But if it's black people, I don't care.
But that's the trick with the body cam. For good and bad, the body cam's catching. So this dude's getting caught up. It's because the dude let's salute him too though. I mean, he's getting fired, but he had his body cam on. He didn't turn it off. He could. I guess he could. He thought it was innocuous, but he had it on.
Right.
Because
a lot of times we have the folks turn them off just all the time, right?
Because he was like, he wasn't even tripping off of it. He's
chilling,
like,
yeah, he's
chilling. Black people hard R's all the time.
Yo, they can say hard R and not get fired on the body cam. Right. And so, I don't get it.
And to me, I'm like, this is how he should have been fired. So he got fired for saying that, and like the police union is fighting for him to get his job back. Like they like, no, we can't start firing people for saying
because all of us gonna get fired.
That's a slippery slope.
They're gonna check all the body cams. Yeah, that's true.
So
that's messed
get
up.
Him out of here. Adios.
All right.
Don't let the door hit you.
That's it for that dude. He's out of here. Next story. What is that? That's you, Paul?
Drag racing.
Hey, that's what it sounds like every day in my house, and usually at about 12:30 at night. There's this jerk idling in the driveway. Anyway, we want to talk about... Okay, we skipped that one. The ultimate come up. Phenom, you called it the greatest come up of all time. Get Yours King is the title of this one. Seattle teacher Dan Jewett.
Say it.
How you say it? Is it Jewett? Jouet?
Yeah.
Okay. He becomes a gold digging legend overnight, and this is for getting married to the Amazon Baroness. That's what I'm gonna call her. The Amazon Baroness, the former Mrs. Bezos. She didn't take long to find her a new boo. I don't know how that worked, but it seemed like they was doing their own thing for a long time. They just had to get their money straight. He was like, yo, let us go through this COVID thing, and when I make $200 billion more, then we can split it, and I'll still be the richest man in the world. What you think, babe? And she was like, fine. And she walked out the room. So this dude, hey, man, to go from a teacher to becoming husband of the richest woman in the world, that is nice. Phenom, I always expected something like this from you. I thought for sure one day you would come up on some rich lady and be talking about, yeah, we married and, just live a rich life, don't do nothing, just write books, something like that. So, do you feel jealous in any way? I know the wife is great, but outside of that, you're jealous, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, this dude is with the richest woman in the world.
He's out here trying to lowball kids from gumball.
Of course I'm jealous. Now, the guy is a science teacher. And like you said, let's see, what is she worth?
She got about $200 billion too.
She gave away $200 billion. And let's salute her. She gave away a lot of money. Like the largest HBCU donor ever is this lady. And she no strings attached. She just gave the money.
She don't care.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not mismanaged, but she just gave straight cash. She said, do what you want. Figure it out. And that's commendable. You gotta give her props for that.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy to me is this dude, he literally and figuratively is a poor man's Jeff Bezos. Like, he looks like...
Does he really?
Like Jeff Bezos on Hard Times.
I didn't see his picture. That is funny.
He ain't on Hard Times no more, though.
He's like a bald white dude, kind of got the same head shape almost. But, yeah, that's just interesting to me.
Wow, like he does look like a bigger Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, so she definitely has a type.
Yeah,
but
bald head white dudes.
How do you mac her? Like, do you think he knew who she was? Because
no,
who really knows what Mackenzie Bezos or Mackenzie Scott?
I'm pretty sure you figured it out when you went on the Tinder date and she pulled up in the Maybach.
No, she sent the Maybach. She didn't pull up in nothing. She sent a helicopter to drop you a Maybach off to come pick her up.
A self-driving helicopter.
Right.
The helicopter just landed. There was nobody in it. Just said hop in with a little rope control, and then it was like a security detail, like out, like with their own helicopter behind us, like hop in here. Yeah. So I think he put two and two together. But look, man, this is my question: if this was you and you were this dude and you were a science teacher at some crappy high school somewhere, what was the first thing what's the first thing you would say in the teacher's lounge the day after the marriage? Because I can imagine some things would be spoken to. Phenom, come on, give us a little jewel here. What would you do if this was you? The next day, you're worth $200 billion, and you got to go into the teacher's lounge with the poor folks. What you doing?
Man, I was trying to look. It says that I guess they can't tell if he is. They can't tell if he's still employed. He's not on the faculty directory. But a lot of times, like, those type of people would just stay
they'll keep
employed.
Working.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be worth $200 billion still going into work. Like, even Jill Biden, I think she's still working. You know, she's the first lady of the United States and still working as a professor. So, yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised by that. Would I do it? I wouldn't quit immediately. Actually, yes, I would. Because when you worth that much money, it's just... like, it's a pain to be that rich. Like, people gonna target you, so you pretty much have to quit your regular 9 to 5.
What else you gonna do, though? Being bored and rich is a problem, I'm sure. It is.
Let me find out and let you know.
It is. You gotta have, after you've done everything, like, she's probably bored. He's newly rich, so it's a little different, but once you've done everything, like I guarantee you, we be laughing at the QAnon people, but they so bored, they probably aren't doing that kind of stuff, man.
Well, the thing is when you that rich, it's like you have the resources to do whatever, like, little interest you have or whatever passion projects you have. So, like, if I really were to get, let's not even say 200 billion, but let's say I hit the Powerball or the Mega Millions and I won $200 million or something like that, where I didn't have to work again, I would
like to get you on the record. Would you give me any money?
Would I give? Yeah.
If you won the lottery. I mean, enough for me to be able to do whatever I want to do.
Oh, no.
No.
For you to come to my house and
this dude talking about I'll pay off the minivan. Bro, I owe $3,000, man. He talking about, I got you, dog. Come on, man. You got $200 million. You can't give me no more than that. Well, I thought we was cool.
Hey, I get all the homies. I'd be like, pick you out a little whip. Pick you out a car, $25,000.
Hold on, he said all the homies, and Phenom friends with everybody, man. I ain't getting nothing.
Pick you out a cloth interior Nissan Sentra with the AM.
This dude gonna send me the CarMax.
No.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy out CarMax, and you can just pick which one you want.
Man, the lemon lot, get you one in the
buy out the car, not the bar.
Get you a 2001 Lexus
down at Cugman Motors.
I'll
pick you up. Like you ain't been down here since I was 16, man. Sales. Go ahead, my bad.
Right, but no, what I would probably do is I would just like podcasts. Like I'd just be like, yo, I got all this money. I like podcasting. I'm going to just, make a podcast network. I'm going to do my own. I'm going to give Paul his own. I'm going to give G his own. Like, whatever, because I enjoy doing this. And now I had a resource to just do that full time. And it's still work, right, but it's not like work.
Right.
I agree.
Listen, man, this dude going to be so nice to his wife. It's going to put us all to shame. Every other human husband in the world is going to be put to shame by this dude, because this dude is going to be on.
Why? He already sealed the deal. You got to keep it, but you got to keep it. You got to keep it in the bag, man. I'm sure they got a prenup or something.
It don't matter though. Even with the prenup, you rich. I'm straight. It ain't like the prenup say zero.
You think his prenup is less than 10 or 25 million?
No,
because to her that's nothing. So his
nothing,
prenup is 25 million. So his main work was that first date. When he was like, okay.
And you know what he did, Phenom? He was just like, prenup? I don't need a prenup. I don't need anything. I just love you. And then she was just like, 50 million. I think that's enough. Right. And he's like, okay. 100 million.
Listen, man. All I know is this dude, God bless him, he's still working, but you got to go in there and just curse out everybody, every asshole in the teacher's lounge, every kid. No, you're like, look, man, I got more money. It'll hurt your parents' feelings if you knew how much money I
need to know where a science teacher from Seattle meets a billionaire S. Where you meet a billionaire
Starbucks.
Chicks from, like at a fundraiser? Because that's the only thing I can think of where their two paths would ever cross.
Maybe the gym, man.
Billionaires don't go to Starbucks. What you talking about? Starbucks comes to them.
I mean, some people just want to live regular lives, man. She can go walk into a store. She can go and do regular things.
They're probably biking. It was like probably on a bike trail or something like that.
Something stupid.
Dog park. That's what it is.
He probably did something extra dumb to get her attention. He was probably the lamest dude ever. And she's like, I know you don't want my money. You're so whack. And then she just gave him a shot. Yeah, man. Shout out to that dude.
Hey, man, you better look, man. Don't call that man white. That is our king. That is a king right there, man. Look,
hey,
hero.
You know he mixed up when he found out that was Mackenzie. He went in the lab, mixed up that little homemade Viagra. It was like,
a little love potion. That's how he got her.
Work. Right, I got to put in work.
Maybe she was an angel investor or something. Maybe he got something cooking. All right, cool.
Keep going.
I love it when Paul cringes at my jokes.
It's rare. It does happen.
Next story. LaWanda and Vishon. This is related to the WandaVision, the black versions of Wanda and Vision. Is it funny or are people just playing too much? I'm not sure. It's kind of racist, but then again, it's funny. So, is it racist? We don't know, but we're going to debate it here for a second. Phenom, I don't know if you had a chance to peep any of these pictures. I'm sure you've seen it on social media. It's everywhere. I've seen quite a few. It started with Vision just in a black turtleneck. Then he had a herringbone chain on. Then it went from that to him having a herringbone chain and a do-rag. Then it went to him with a herringbone, a do-rag, and gold teeth. And a watch.
And then a beard. and then a thick beard and waves.
Waves, a beard. And then it went to, this baby don't look like me. And the baby look exactly like him. So it's gotten pretty racist as this has gone on. So I don't know. I guess I'll answer since I'm talking. You know, we black, man, so we find something to laugh about no matter what, even if it's at our own expense. White people, just don't laugh too hard. You know, just keep it to yourselves. It's pretty funny, but it's also a bunch of stereotypes, and that's kind of what makes it funny, I guess. But Paul, I think he felt some type of way, man. He felt uncomfortable looking at these. What'd you think, Phenom? Were these pictures? I'm gonna let you go last, Paul. Phenom, did you think any of this was racist or just jokes?
I saw the pictures. I gotta be honest, I don't really know what this is about.
Oh, okay.
You know, like I saw the memes and I've seen that dude before, but I don't watch that show. I don't know what
He's just from Avengers.
show that's from.
And then they got a show on Disney Plus where they're married.
Oh, is that the whatever WandaVision or something like that? Yeah, see, I've never seen that, and so I knew I'd seen this dude before in Avengers. Okay, that makes sense, but I just didn't get it. Like I thought some of the memes were funny, but I was just like, I don't really know who this dude is. I don't know what this show that everybody is referencing. So I just kind of laughed at the ones with the baby or whatever, or the one even with the herringbone on. Like I just kind of chuckled, but I just didn't get it. I felt like it was an inside joke, and I wasn't on the inside. So. Yeah,
when he just had a herringbone and like a wave cap, I was gonna definitely make that my group chat picture. So I was here for that.
I thought maybe that actually happened in the show, and I thought that's what kind of kicked it off. Like I thought he was wearing a herringbone in whatever show he was in, and then people was just like, "Oh, he black," and went crazy with it. So I didn't even know the origin of how this kicked off.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I don't think he had on some tight sweaters, but it wasn't like a black. Definitely no herringbone. Paul, so what's your final thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. I'm reaching the point of age where I'm mature. I'm slowly maturing. I don't want to mature, but I'm seeing like because I see these and they're funny to me when it's on the surface, even though I don't watch the show. But I get where they're going. But like it is kind of the same like just old stereotypes. It's always like a herringbone or gold teeth or a do rag. But it is kind of funny, man. But they throw the do rag on Thanos. They throw the long nails on Captain America, like he had shit. You've seen those? I mean, so they do this. But whatever shows are popular with black people, they put. But yeah, I can never tell like if it's black people doing it or if it's just like people being kind of sort of racist making these little things. That's what my thing is. But they are kind of funny on some level. But it does get a little tired because it's always like Maury Povich. It's Tim's. It's a fitted hat. It's do rags. It's a beard and waves, stuff like that. So it gets a little old, but it is kind of funny on some level. But I'm getting to the point where I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't laugh at all this stuff. Maybe I'm too old for it. But Ryan, the show, you like the show, man? I've heard it's like really good.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about it, because I know I've been talking to you about it, and I was saying how genius it was, and what I thought was gonna happen, and how great it was gonna be. And guess what? Not really. It was good. It was still good. First 3 episodes, not so much. The cool thing about it was they kind of did decades of shows. So it started off with like 1950, so they were like I Love Lucy, and it was black and white, and then it went 60s, and then it went 70s, then it went to the 80s, and then it had like 90s Full House. They had the whole beginning montage would change every time depending on what show it was that she was pretending she was in. Basically, the chick is losing her mind, but she got powers, so she's kind of made them into a TV show, kind of a deal. And so I was like, it would usher in the X-Men, and so I thought that was a cool way to do it. But they still was kind of like, tune in for the next movie, kind of a deal at the end. So,
Gotcha.
Still good, but not as great as it probably could have been. Didn't have that moment where somebody just popped in. You'd be like, oh, Wolverine at the end or something like that. Nah, they didn't do that. But I wasn't mad at it.
Gotcha. And Box Wine Poppy disappearance, that's what it was that Lewis was talking about before.
Oh,
he said every time Paul leaves, he feel like he's going in, one shot, one kill. He's just going off in the whip, taking that shot, coming back. So Box Wine Poppy, he's off camera now. So
we don't know what he's doing.
He got that. Right. He got that, whatever the Amber Alert for assassins is. He got that alert, had to go to the roof real quick, and, he'll be back shortly.
Right.
It doesn't take him long to do his work.
Right. Yeah, that story was pretty funny from Lewis because he gave me all kinds of details of what kind of car he was driving, old brown beat up sedan, and he said he just peek out the window, take the shot, and then put the earpiece back in. So, pretty imaginative, but hey, I feel him. I told him it's a little bit of it's not Jack Bauer, more of Jack Ryan. That's really what I see Paul as.
You got that bolt action.
All right. So I think that's it for us this evening. We're gonna end it here. And so if the people would like to contact us and let us know what should the name of Ghetto Vision be? Because they named him Vishon, and I think that's kind of funny. I don't know if you can get any better than that, but maybe you have a ghetto name for Vision, or a better ghetto name for Wanda. Wanda's just Wanda. I think it's ghetto enough. Little Wanda, that's how they put it. They had one where she had a gun, all kind of stuff. But black people gone black. So where can they contact us if they have a better name, or if they just want to tell us if they thought that show or those particular memes are racist? Where can they contact us?
You can always email us at theblackdelegatespod@gmail.com. If you want to reach us on Facebook, if you're old and black like us and you're still on Facebook, just look for the Black Delegates Podcast on Facebook. You can hit us up there, slide into our messenger DMs. If you want to hit us up on social media, we are on Twitter and Instagram at Black Delegates _ between Black and Delegates. If you want to reach me, I am at Ghetto Phenom on Twitter and Instagram. The Black Ryan is at The Black Ryan on Twitter and the gram. And Box Wine Poppy, when he's not out
murking people,
getting kills, then he is at Box Wine Poppy on Twitter. And if people want to help out the show, if they want to help us to grow, to continue getting a bigger audience, a more expansive audience, they want to see us do big things, have some private shows in 2021. What you can do is you can share, let your friends know about the Black Delegates Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, whether you're on Google Podcasts, whether you're on Spotify. If we're still on there, I don't know. Ryan might have took us off. Whatever app you're on, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you just tell a friend about the podcast. Tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell your uncle, tell your cousin. Just tell a random dude walking down the street. Just walk up to him and be like, listen, sir, I got this dope podcast called the Black Delegates Podcast. And just share that, and people appreciate it. So, Ryan, any last wise words?
Yes. Every life decision we make can be traced back to two emotions, love or fear. Love heals, helps others, strengthens families' fears, creates weapons, breeds selfishness and isolation. Which one will you choose the next time you make a decision? Should I charge them for that? Patreon?
I'm choosing both of them.
You can't do both. It's one or the other. No. You want to test my theory right now? Go ahead, throw something out. I'll tell you if it's love or fear.
What if I tell my child I'm going to beat they behind if they go out in the street again?
You fear losing them, or you fear them getting hurt. That's your reaction.
Or I love them and I don't want them to get hurt, so I'm looking out for them long term.
That's fear.
It is fear, but it's also love.
It's not. It's fair.
I want to protect them. If I want to protect you, it's because I love you. So I'm telling you, stay out the street.
If you love them, you wouldn't say you're gonna beat their behind. You fear, therefore, it's making a negative emotion.
Why not?
The love would give you. You would get out on your knee and you say, "But I love you." Like, don't do that. You scare me. You wouldn't lash out in anger. If you lash out in anger,
spare the rod, spoil the child.
Any negative emotions are from fear. Positive emotions from love. You can try it. I can't poke a hole in this theory. I've been riding with this for a long time.
I think I found a hole. Let us know, listeners. Is the Black Ryan correct? Is Ghetto Phenom correct? And Box Wine Poppy is back, but we about to get up out of here. So
you don't care what you got to say. Deuces. See y'all next week.
Peace.